Okay, so it looks like I'm here before the start of my Jackalope Jam 24-hour race. It appears I left somehow again without my SD card for my GoPro. I was all set up to do quite a bit of filming, so there will probably be minor amounts of filming now just on the cell phone.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Deborah?
I'm up.
So up there is the start-finish line. Hopefully I'll record at least some on a loop here later. It's about 40 degrees. With the wind chill, it feels like it's in the low 30s right now, and it's not supposed to change much all day. It'll feel like this all through the day and the night. We're supposed to have off and on light rain, so it's going to be a pretty cold day. The people out there that have been doing the 100-hour, the 72-hour, and the 48-hour have already been dealing with these conditions for the last few days. For me, it's a little after 8 o'clock in the morning, so my start is at 9 a.m., so just under an hour. And starting with me in my 24-hour, there will be people doing the 12-hour and the 6-hour also starting. So I'm going to show you a little picture of my fancy setup. This was my planned setup for the 48-hour. I was going to cut down when I was doing the 24-hour, but it's cold and wet as it is. I went ahead and did the full setup. So this is my tent. As I go in, I've got my sleeping bag on a cot over there. In the back, I've got a chair. Over here on the left, I've got a table. Down below is a big bin with lots of extra clothes and Kleenex and lots of choices of clothes. Over here on the left is stuff I get in and out of. It'll have my electronics, and there's my GoPro without the SD card, and some extra gloves and things that I'll get through the day. I have a little portable heater, so if I spend a good bit of time in the tent at night, I can turn it on for a while. I've also got an ice chest with several drinks that I'll use during the day, but I've got that set up over in the DDR, the Dallas Dirt Runners tent. I'll walk over there. They hooked together some canopies, and Chad and some of my friends have tents right behind these canopies. But this is where the gathering area is for DDR folks as we finish loops. And there is my ice chest with several things in it. So I guess that's it for the preview. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, I'm soaking wet. It's raining out. 15 miles in, 3 hours and 6 minutes. I've stopped to do a little change of clothes, put on some dry stuff. I'll check in again later.
Hey guys, so that's really about all the footage I really have from the race. It turned out that I kind of messed up again going out there. I forgot my SD card for my GoPro, so I just filmed some stuff on my camera for prior to the race, and at that 15-mile mark, I had planned to do some more at regular intervals, probably every 10 to 15 miles. I was expecting to do probably 100K to 80 miles in this race, but I didn't really go long enough to film a lot after that anyway. And I was also a little bit discouraged because I knew when I walked with my camera, my cell phone, it's shaky. It doesn't have any image stabilization, and it was raining the whole time. So it wasn't, I mean, there were times where it would stop for 5 or 10 minutes and then it would start again. I don't think we ever finished a loop without getting rained on some. It was normally a light rain, but it was one of those where I was constantly taking off my glasses and wiping them so I could see well enough to keep going. In those first 15 miles, I did stop like 3 or 4 times for different reasons. I guess one time was to, I took off a jacket that was getting kind of warm. Later, I got a little warm and took off the tights and moved to shorts. I also stopped and refilled my water bottle once. So I had like 3 stops in that first 15 miles. The pace was right on where I wanted to be. I know I was right around 3 hours for the first 15 miles, which is 12-minute miles, which is actually puts you well faster than 100 miles in 24-hour pace. But I knew I was going to slow down, and actually from the very beginning, having had my heart attack 4 months ago, I was supposed to keep my heart rate low. I'm supposed to keep it under, I try to keep it under 130 all the time. Well, early on, I was looking at my watch and it would be in the 140s or 150s. I thought my watch was just reading wrong, but as time goes on, usually my watch will settle in after a couple miles, after you start sweating a little bit. Well, it kept reading real high. I just kind of ignored it for a long time. But in that, right before I did that update at 15 miles, it kind of poured on us for a little while, and I got really wet and cold. I went back out after the 15 miles, did another 1.5 mile loop, so I was at 16.5, but I was shivering and really cold. I came in, I sat down for probably half an hour, changed all my clothes, I ate some lunch, tried to warm up, went back out, and after that, I was a little more comfortable. It was still cold. It was still raining, but it wasn't real heavy rain. I would say most of the rest of the afternoon it was a light rain with little breaks, occasionally a little bit harder rain, but it was just kind of miserable. I was constantly wiping off my glasses. I was constantly, and I couldn't really run because every time I would try to run, my heart rate would shoot up over 140. I mean, I would just run for a minute and it would shoot up. I've read a little bit since that that's actually kind of a common thing in cold weather for your heart rate to go up higher, especially if you're not in perfect condition, because your body is working harder to warm itself. So your heart rate and your pulse, your blood pressure will go up. But I'm not supposed to be doing that right now. So I was pretty much stuck to walking, and my lower back and my upper back and everything. I think my neck area, I've had some problems there. I fell several years ago and kind of messed up my upper neck. I've got exercises I can do that make it better, but I haven't been doing them. And I think I was probably straining into that wind, and my upper back started hurting. My lower back was hurting. Anyway, I just wasn't really real comfortable. I wasn't having a lot of fun, and I do this for fun. And I also think I just went in without really having a big reason why to do it. I wasn't going for a PR distance. I wasn't going to be competitive. And I was frustrated that I couldn't run because my heart rate would shoot up too much. So I kind of lost interest. I started calculating when can I quit. And I kind of set a target to quit in time to pack up before dark and be able to drive home, so I wouldn't have to spend another night out on the ranch sleeping in the tent. I wanted to pack up and drive home, and I live 4.5 hours away, so I quit around, I think, 4:30 in the afternoon. It takes with all the gear I had set up and walking back and forth to the car, it probably took me an hour to get all packed up. But I got packed up and then drove home and slept well and then in my bed that night, so it was worth it. I also wasn't real encouraged that the forecast still called for like 10 more hours of rain. I think it was supposed to stop around 2 or 3 in the morning, but I just didn't want to be out there that long. Sometimes I just feel like it's better to live to fight another day, and this was one of the few times I've done that. I've quit a few other ultras, but this was the first fixed time race I had left early, at least that early. But just is what it is. It was most of the time we were in the upper 30s. It got into the low 40s, I think, for a high. but with the 10 to 15 mile an hour wind, it felt like it was in the upper 20s, maybe low 30s the whole time, and I think the rain made it feel even colder. But it was just not real fun. But I did have fun seeing friends. I got to cheer on some people that were doing the 72 hour. I had some friends that did the 6 hour race and the 12-hour race that I got to see for a while. And it was still a good experience. It just wasn't exactly my day. Oh, I also wanted to just share, this is the nice sweatshirt I received doing the race. Jackalope Jam. And it has a purple theme to the jackalope this year. And then I still did get a nice big finisher's medal for Jackalope Jam. Other years I've done it, I've done twice. I've done over 100 miles. Once I did 87, so I still got a 100K belt buckle. The other 2 years I got a 100-mile belt buckle, but I still got the nice finisher's medal this year. Super well run race by Trail Racing Over Texas. They do a great job every year. There was warm food, everything you needed to eat or drink. Very well supported. So we'll just look forward to the next one. I haven't decided what I'm going to race next. I'm still kind of back and forth on whether I want to do the Grasslands Trail Race, which is in the third weekend in March, but I am signed up for around, I think it's around the April 7th or 8th, the Brazos Bend race. I'm signed up actually right now for the 50 miler, but I'm planning to do the 50K. And then a few weeks later than that, I have a Hatchie 50 miler. But so hopefully things will go better there. And I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your races went well. And other than that, keep moving.